Hello, adventurers and aspiring thespians. I'm Dr. Ben, and you're watching RPG PhD. Today, we're merging the worlds of acting and tabletop RPGs to explore how you can find and enhance your character's motivation. Whether you're a seasoned role player or new to the game, understanding your character's drive is key to immersive and compelling gameplay. So, let's dive into some acting techniques that will bring your RPG characters to life. Let's start with a fundamental acting concept, the magic if. This technique, pioneered by Konstantin Stanislavski, asks you to consider, if I were my character in this situation, how would I react? This simple question puts you in your character's shoes, helping you understand their reactions and decisions based on their background, personality, and current circumstances. The magic if is a powerful tool in an actor's and role player's toolkit. This technique is all about empathy and imagination. When you're playing a tabletop RPG, you're not just rolling dice and calculating numbers, you're stepping into another persona, another life. The magic if helps bridge the gap between you and your character. Imagine your character is faced with a formidable enemy they once considered a friend. Ask yourself, if I were in my character's shoes, feeling their history, their emotions, how would I respond to this confrontation? Perhaps your character is torn between loyalty and duty, leading to a complex internal struggle. This not only influences your decisions in the game, but also enriches your role-playing. The magic if also encourages you to consider the smaller, more nuanced aspects of your character. If your rogue grew up on the streets, how does that background shape their view of wealth and power? If your wizard is seeking knowledge forbidden by their order, what drives that thirst for the forbidden? These considerations lead to a more three-dimensional character, full of depth and conflicting desires. But remember, the magic if isn't just about heavy emotional scenarios, it can also be applied to lighter everyday moments in your campaign. If your character finds themselves at a grand feast, how would they react based on their upbringing and experiences? Would they be delighted, overwhelmed, out of place? These details bring vibrancy and relatability to your character. Using the magic if makes your character's journey more than just a series of actions. It becomes a narrative rich with emotion, conflict, and personal growth. It enhances not just your own experience, but also the collective storytelling of your gaming group. Every character has objectives, short-term goals, and a super objective, overall goal. In RPGs, your character might have the objective to find a lost artifact, but their super objective could be to prove their worth to their family. Identifying these helps you understand what drives your character's actions and how they approach different scenarios. Objectives and super objectives are critical components in acting that can significantly enhance your character development in tabletop RPGs. These elements are not just goals, they are the driving forces that give your character purpose and direction. Consider objectives as immediate or short-term goals that your character wants to achieve within the scope of a session or particular scenario. These could range from convincing a king to lend troops, finding a rare ingredient for a potion, or simply trying to earn the trust of a suspicious NPC. Objectives are dynamic. They can change from session to session and are shaped by the circumstances your character finds themselves in. They are the stepping stones that move your character through the narrative, providing clear motivations for their actions and decisions. Now, the super objective, on the other hand, is the overarching goal that defines your character's journey throughout the campaign. It's the big picture aim that drives them, shaped by their background, personality, and overarching narrative of your game. This could be as grand as overthrowing an evil empire, uncovering the truth about a mysterious past, or achieving a personal sense of redemption or enlightenment. The super objective is the thread that ties all of your character's actions and decisions together, giving a sense of progression and depth to their story. Balancing objectives and super objectives requires thought and consistency. While objectives can shift and evolve, they should always feed into the super objective in some way. This alignment ensures that your character remains true to their core motivations, even as they adapt to the changing scenarios of the campaign. It also allows for a more nuanced and layered performance as you navigate the immediate challenges while keeping an eye on the larger goal. Incorporating objectives and super objectives into your character's gameplay makes for a more immersive and satisfying experience. It adds a layer of complexity to your role-playing as you juggle short-term goals while striving towards a significant character-defining endpoint. Actors often tap into their emotional memory to portray genuine emotions. As a role player, think about experiences in your life that align with your character's emotions. If your character is facing betrayal, recall a time you felt betrayed. This emotional connection adds depth and realism to your role-playing. Emotional memory, a technique rooted in the Stanislavski system of acting, involves drawing upon your own past experiences to inform and deepen your portrayal of a character. Consider moments in your life that elicited strong emotions. It could be a joyful memory, a painful goodbye, a moment of fear, or a burst of anger. These experiences, when recalled, bring with them a wealth of emotional detail that can be tapped into to bring authenticity to your character's reactions and decisions. For example, if your character is facing a loss, recalling how you felt during a personal loss can help you portray your character's grief more realistically. The key here is not to overwhelm yourself with past emotions, but to use them as a reference point. Emotional memory is particularly useful in role-playing because it allows you to ground fantastical scenarios in real human emotion. Whether your character is celebrating a hard-fought victory, mourning the loss of a comrade, or facing a heart-wrenching moral dilemma, drawing from your emotional reservoir can bring depth and realism to these experiences. However, it's important to approach this technique with care and sensitivity. Always be conscious of your comfort levels and don't delve into memories that might be too distressing or overwhelming. Role-playing should be a fun and enjoyable experience, not one that causes discomfort or distress. When used judiciously, emotional memory can be a powerful tool for enhancing the emotional impact of your role-playing. It allows you to connect with your character on a deeper level, creating a more immersive and emotionally engaging experience for both you and your fellow players. Remember, in RPGs, we're not just telling stories, we're living them. Stanislavski's system encourages actors to build believable characters by focusing on their motivations, personal relationships, and history. Apply this to your RPG character by fleshing out their backstory, understanding their relationships with other characters, and considering what drives them in the game's world. This renowned system of acting focuses on building believable characters through deep internal understanding and emotional authenticity, which can be incredibly useful for role-playing. Stanislavski emphasized the importance of understanding your character's motivations. In RPG terms, this goes beyond knowing your character's abilities and stats. It's about comprehending their deepest desires, fears, and beliefs. Ask yourself, why does your paladin uphold their oath? What personal experiences drive your rogue's cynicism? Delving into these motivations makes your character's actions and reactions in the game more coherent and grounded. Another aspect of the Stanislavski system is the idea of living the part. As role players, we can interpret this as fully embodying our characters during play. This means thinking, reacting, and making decisions as your character would, not as you, the player, would. When you're faced with a choice in the game, consider how your character's background, personality, and current emotional state would influence their decision. This approach leads to more immersive and consistent role-playing. Stanislavski also highlighted the importance of relationships in building a character. In an RPG, this translates to considering how your character relates to other party members, NPCs, and the world at large. Do they have a mentor, a rival, a long-lost love? How do these relationships affect their actions and choices within the game? This network of relationships can add a rich layer of complexity to your role-playing. Lastly, consider the given circumstances of each scene your character is in. This means being mindful of the physical, social, and emotional context in which a scene takes place. How does the setting, the presence of certain characters, or the unfolding events influence your character's behavior? This awareness can greatly enhance the authenticity and depth of your role-playing. Incorporating the Stanislavski system into your role-playing sessions brings a level of depth. It allows you to create a character that feels not just functional, but vividly real and deeply engaging. Remember, great role-playing is as much about understanding your character as it is about playing them. Subtext is the underlying meaning behind words and actions. In RPGs, what your character says and does might have deeper implications. Maybe your stoic warrior rarely speaks of their past, but their protectiveness over others hints at a loss they've suffered. Playing with subtext adds layers to your character and enriches interactions. This layer of depth can significantly enrich the role-playing experience. Consider a scenario where your character's dialogue and actions might have a deeper meaning than what's on the surface. For instance, a warrior who vehemently argues against going into battle might not just be expressing cowardice or reluctance. Their subtext could be a traumatic past experience that's influencing their stance, an aspect that they might not openly acknowledge, but which deeply affects their behavior. Subtext is also about the unsaid intentions and dynamics between characters. In your RPG sessions, think about how your character's history with another character, whether it's a rivalry, a shared secret, or an unexpressed affection, can influence your interactions. It's these unspoken elements that can add a compelling layer to dialogues and decisions within the game. Another way to explore subtext is through internal conflict. Your character may outwardly project confidence, but internally they grapple with self-doubt or moral dilemmas. This complexity can make for intriguing roleplay moments where you portray a character wrestling with their internal monologue versus the facade they present to the world and other players. When employing subtext, it's important to balance it with clarity. While subtlety is key, ensure that there are enough hints and cues for other players to pick up on, allowing them to engage with the deeper aspects of your character. This shared understanding among players can lead to a richer, more nuanced interactions that elevate the entire gaming experience. Incorporating subtext in your character portrayals adds a level of realism and sophistication to your role-playing. It invites you to explore the complexities of your character, making them more than just a set of abilities and actions, but a living, breathing entity with depth and dimension. Improvisation is vital in both acting and RPGs. Embrace the unexpected. If your character faces a scenario you didn't anticipate, think quickly about how they would authentically react based on their motivations and personality. Improvisation in RPGs involves thinking and reacting in the moment, creating and involving the story spontaneously based on the current situation. It's about embracing the unexpected and making it part of your character's journey. Consider the unpredictable nature of RPGs. Despite thorough planning, players will often encounter situations they didn't anticipate. This is where improvisation becomes even more crucial. It's about adapting your character's responses and actions on the fly. Say your character is a cautious planner, but the party decides to take a risky shortcut. Improvisation allows you to adapt your character's behavior to this new situation in a way that's true to their nature, perhaps by voicing concerns or reluctantly agreeing while preparing for potential dangers. Improvisation also allows for more dynamic and authentic interactions with other characters and the world. It opens the door for spontaneous and organic role-playing moments that can define your character. Maybe your character has a chance encounter with an NPC, leading to an unplanned but memorable interaction that becomes a significant part of your character's story. To enhance your improvisational skills, it's helpful to have a solid grasp of your character's background, personality, and motivations. This understanding allows you to make decisions and react in ways that are consistent with your character's nature, even when you're making it up as you go along. Remember, improvisation in RPGs isn't about being the funniest or the most dramatic. It's about contributing to the story in a meaningful way. It's okay to take a moment to think about how your character would react. Sometimes the best improvised moments come from a place of authenticity rather than the pressure to be quick or witty. Remember, finding your character's motivation isn't just about making decisions in the game, it's about creating a persona that feels real and consistent. These acting techniques can help you delve deeper into your character's psyche, making your role-playing experience more rewarding and engaging. How do you use acting techniques in your campaigns? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Stay tuned for more tips on elevating your RPG experience. Until next time, may your quests be many and your adventures legendary. Thanks for watching. See you next time.